What's up guys, Jeff here with Spraywell, and today we're going to talk about soft wash systems and how to choose the best soft wash system for your configuration and your needs. In front of us we have 3 different types of systems. Each system has its strengths and weaknesses when it comes to soft washing. We have a 5.5 GPM gear-driven system here, that's a pressure washer. We have a soft wash system that's considered a dedicated soft wash system. This is a gas-powered. We also have an electric battery-powered soft wash system over here. So let's talk about the 5.5 GPM pressure washer and how this unit can actually be used for soft washing. This unit can be used with an accessory called a downstream injector. This is going to allow you to inject chemicals into your system downstream, meaning after the pump. The reason that's important is because chemicals running through your pump can damage the pump. The pump is not built to have chemicals run through it. It's just built to have pure water running through it. And that's one of the most important factors when you're thinking about running soft wash through your pressure washer. This is also one of the inherent limitations to using a downstream injector. The fact that it comes after the pump means that you're limited to the siphoning power of that water and how much chemical it can actually pull into your mixture. This chemical injector is actually rated at 20%. When you combine that with the fact that bleach is typically rated around 12.5%, you're only going to get about 2.5% mixture of bleach into your water. This just connects up to your unloader valve, and this side is going to go into your chemical. It's real simple and convenient, and it's going to allow you to do some basic soft wash jobs such as house washing or pre-treating and post-treating for a surface cleaning job. This will help get you by in certain circumstances, but it's also very limited and it's not going to work in a lot of cases. The problem is that even on a basic house wash, you run into situations where you have heavy organic staining. If it's very heavy, you may need a more potent bleach mixture, somewhere even up to 4 or 5%. And you're just not going to get that with your standard chemical injector downstreaming system on a pressure washer. Now let's talk about a dedicated soft wash system. This battery-powered 7 GPM, 100 PSI soft wash system works great for allowing you to have the more potent mixture that you need for the more intense soft washing jobs. Whenever you're working on a house that has that heavy organic staining, or whenever you're cleaning a roof, you simply can't get by with that 2.5% mixture, and that's when you're going to need to use a dedicated system. This is going to allow you to get that potent bleach mixture to get those heavy stains. The thing is, a battery-powered soft wash system does have its limitations. You're only going to get about 7 GPM out of this 12-volt system. A lot of them are even only 5 GPM. You can combine batteries to make a 24-volt system, which will allow you to upgrade your pump up to 10 GPM, 12 GPM. They even have some that are higher than that. These are great, and they can really extend the GPM and the overall washing power of your system, making it a lot quicker to do some of these jobs. However, you're not going to get much more range as we've seen in previous tests, and that's where the strengths of the gas-powered soft wash system comes in. This soft wash system is 11 GPM, and it's coming in at about 300 PSI, so you're getting about triple the PSI that you're getting over here. Now, PSI obviously isn't everything when it comes to cleaning. It's more about washing power and the amount of water that you can get flowing through the system. That being said, that PSI does help give this unit a little bit more range to get higher up to those 3 or 4 story homes or buildings or commercial applications. So whenever you're looking at these bigger jobs that require you to really get some range on your spray or to really just get a lot of coverage with your spray, this is going to be the way to go. Again, these electric systems are great and they'll definitely be proficient for the majority of jobs that you're going to get on. But if you start to really take on some bigger jobs like apartment complexes, commercial buildings, even just large houses, then you're going to want to start thinking about investing in a gas system. All right, guys, we just wanted to take a quick interjection of this video to talk about these Everflow pumps and really just any pump that you're going to use on your electric soft wash system. It's important to remember the fact that these pumps tend to go bad due to the fact that a lot of bleach is running through them. Bleach is highly corrosive. And even with following proper procedure and flushing your pump consistently, like not even going on a lunch break without flushing your pump, these pumps are going to fail. It's just the name of the game. It's part of the cost that's associated with running an electric soft wash system. They last for a while, and the more you're consistent with your flushing, the longer they do last. But even then, they are going to fail. They tend to go bad around this diaphragm. This diaphragm gasket will go bad. They'll begin to leak. And just overall, these pumps are known for that. So it's just something to keep in mind, especially if you're going to upgrade to a 24-volt system and you're thinking about running these higher GPM pumps, these 10, even 12 GPM pumps that are even more expensive than these 7 GPMs. And to replace those just doesn't really make much sense from a business perspective. So that's another reason that a lot of guys tend to gear more towards the decision of a gas soft wash system They're a little bit more reliable in that sense. The pumps are a little bit more durable. So just keep that in mind whenever you're considering this purchase, that the pump is an important consideration to factor into your overhead moving forward with an electric soft wash system. So now that we've talked about the different types of systems, their strengths and weaknesses, let's talk about the different ways to configure these systems. This isn't going to apply so much to the downstreaming and the 5.5 GPM pressure washer, but this applies to our dedicated soft wash systems. The two different ways you can configure a dedicated soft wash system is batch mixing or proportioners or manifolds. Batch mixing is essentially having a big tank. Prior to your job, you go ahead and get your ratio where you want it, bleach to water. You head out to your job and you're just pulling straight from that tank and spraying onto whatever your application is. This is great in some circumstances. It's a more budget-friendly approach. It can turn into a bit of a headache because from one job to the next, you're going to need a different ratio of water to bleach. And what that means is whenever you leave one job and go to the next, you have to keep track of exactly how much water you have left. If you add water to the system, you then have to do the math on exactly how much bleach you're going to need to get the proportion you want for the next job. It can turn into a headache real fast, and most guys that have a batch mix system are looking to upgrade as soon as possible. The manifold here, or otherwise known as a proportioner, is a much more convenient way to set your system up. You're going to have your chemical, your SH, or your soap and surfactant, and your water input. You're going to have your manifold here that the water flows through, and this is going to allow you to really dial in your mixture. This is the most professional way to do it. It's the most accurate way to do it, and it's the most cost-effective and time-efficient way to do it. Time efficiency means money in this business. This is going to be a big time saver for you to have it set up with a manifold rather than batch mixing. If you have to use batch mixing to get by, it's an understandable evolution of your business. A lot of people go through that progression and there's nothing wrong with that, but you should always be looking to upgrade as fast as possible to a system like this so that you can be more efficient in the way that you do your jobs. All right, guys, before we wrap this up, we just wanted to address one of the commonly asked questions when it comes to these electric pumps versus the gas pumps. And the big difference is the gas pumps, like the Comet P40, are built for chemicals like SH and bleach, and they have the internals to withstand the corrosive nature of these chemicals. These pumps on these electric systems were actually built as pesticide pumps and pesticide sprayers. That's why they don't handle the bleach as well. Even the Everflow bleach pump is actually just built with a fail-safe inside that allows the pump to shut down so it doesn't ruin the actual pump when the diaphragm fails. So you still have to replace the head on the Everflow pump whenever that diaphragm fails. So you still have that factor to consider down the road with these 7 GPM or 10 GPM or even whatever GPM electric Everflow or Remco pump you're going to use. Even if it's the bleach version, you still may have to replace the head consistently down the road. So it's still a factor to consider. These Comet P40s, these gas units are built for this. That's why overall they're a better long-term solution if it fits within your budget. Hopefully you guys found this soft wash tutorial useful. If you have any questions, you can always call our tech line here at Spraywell. We're here to help. We're here to help you guys succeed. Our number is 561-964-3228. You can give us an email at sales@spraywell.com, and we're here to help you guys succeed. Thanks, y'all.